What's up, it's your boy RD, back again after a long or a short or a moderate break. Is 1 month long? I don't think so. So I'm back after a short break, and as you guys can see, a lot of things have been changed here, and Christmas is here, guys. I hope you guys are gonna have a fabulous Christmas, but I'm extremely happy because I'm finally building my own PC. Finally, after all that shit I went through, I'm finally building my own PC. You guys are gonna get some great videos in upcoming months.
Okay.
So let's get back to our today's topic, GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition, made by our one and only Rockstar Games. Our beloved Rockstar Games. Our cutie pie Rockstar Games. So today we are gonna do some rants on Rockstar Games for making such a delicacy, which is called Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the definitive edition. So without wasting any more time, let the rant begin. I know they hired a small team. Do they lack money? Do they lack any facilities? No. So it's a part of the rant too. And after all this, all the rant is dedicated to Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactives. Nobody else. Not a single bit is dedicated to anybody else other than Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactives. So, let's get going with the mood swing. GTA Trilogy, Definitive Edition, worst bugs, glitches and problems so far. Many of us assumed that the seemingly inevitable remasters of GTA 3, GTA Vice City and GTA San Andreas would eventually be guaranteed and welcome hits, but the release of Grand Theft Auto GTA the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, has already been met with scorn and ridicule from franchise fans who are stunned by these remasters' many problems.
Shut the fuck up. No one cares about fan fiction. Know your fucking place, trash. Fucking robots. Give a fuck about no robots. They ain't got no soul.
Maybe it shouldn't be a surprise to see these remasters fall quite so hard on their face given some of the botched remasters and new releases we have seen in recent years. But it is truly astonishing to witness just how bad these games really are on a purely technical level. There is no excuse for how remasters turned out, but I'm darkly eager to hear an explanation for one of the year's most disappointing releases. It would take us days to round up every problem with these remasters, but here are some of the worst ones from them. The character models. Definitive Edition's new visuals aren't just different, they are really bad, and I'm not talking about the art style. There is no way to beat around the bush with this particular problem, regardless of how you feel about the certain decision made for this remaster or remasters in general. I can guarantee you that the character models in this game are not the result of a particular art style or art direction. These character models are the result of something that went terribly wrong. As much as I would love to keep talking about this problem, I'm just going to let the evidence speak for itself. Look at CJ's first girlfriend. Oh my god. Look at Big Smoke. Look at Ryder, whatever. And the frame rate issues. It would take quite some time to list every single technical problem in GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, but we have to spare a little space to talk about these remasters' frame rate issues. It's pretty hard to play these remasters for an extended period of time and not to be bothered by the constant frame drops. GTA 3 is the worst offender of the bunch in this category, but all of the games run horribly most of the time. If you are looking for a technical breakdown of how poorly these remasters perform, here's a video that does an excellent job of highlighting the extent of this issue. GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition Switch port is an absolute nightmare. While the GTA remasters suffer from quite a few general performance problems, versions of these remasters are truly on another level. You would think that the Nintendo Switch would easily be able to run updated versions of games from the early to mid 2000s, but that is simply not the case. From to slideshow quality frame rates, these might be some of the worst Switch ports I have ever seen in my life, especially when you take into account that franchise we're talking about, the amount of money conceivably available to make these ports work, and the age of the original games themselves. Again, you really have to see how bad the Switch versions of these releases to fully quote-unquote appreciate it. Thankfully, the good folks at Nintendo Life have suffered from so that you don't have to. GT Trilogy Definitive Edition's PC port has already been taken down. This was my thing. I didn't care about the Nintendo or the PS4 or the PS5, anything. This was my thing. I would probably warn most people not to buy GTA Definitive Edition in its current state, but at the moment PC players don't even have the option to buy this collection, as Rockstar recently made the move to pull the release from that platform. It seems like the PC versions of the Definitive Edition wasn't compatible with the Rockstar Games launcher program in such a way that it essentially made the games unplayable, which is really one of those things you think someone would have discovered fairly quickly if they had tested the game at least once before the release. Just whatever. I don't know if they're on ganja or steroids or whatever, but they're not working properly. Just hire us for free. We'll work for free. We'll test the games for you for free. Just hire anybody from the community. I've also heard that data miners discovered files in that version of the game that were clearly not intended to be included in the retail release, but the technical problems alone were more than enough reason to temporarily remove it from that platform, regardless of what was buried in the source code. Original games and their mods are no longer available. Rockstar warned everyone that they were preparing to remove the original or the most recent versions of GTA 3, Vice City and San Andreas from the digital stores in preparation for the Definitive Edition's release. Some were upset by that decision as soon as it was announced, but the hope was that the Definitive Edition would be so good that it ultimately wouldn't matter. We can see how good it is. We can clearly see how good it is. Well, that's obviously not the case. And it makes the loss of the older versions of these games that much tougher to deal with. Not only do the remasters' various problems have many longing for the good old days, but at the moment the Definitive Edition doesn't support the various fan-made remasters mod developed for the GTA games over the years, which, quite frankly, were generally better than the official Definitive Edition remasters. So what we can see, a multi-billion-dollar company can't make a proper remaster, but the community can. Wow, that's a great discovery. Without getting into conspiracy theory portion of the last point, let's just say that it's a shame that Rockstar decided to remove some all-time classic games and replace them with this. GTA Triology Definitive Edition's lazy rendering leads to bizarre mistakes. We have also talked about how these remasters poach most of the character models, especially NPC models, but fans have also found instances of the apparently AI-driven rendering process running bits of text found throughout the environment as well. Here's the photo from the Reddit user Sam1029 that demonstrates the extent of this problem. As you can probably guess, the sign is supposed to say AR guitars from $199. That might not sound like the biggest problem in the world. It's certainly not the biggest problem in relation to these remasters, but these games are filled with similar little instances of the rendering and quote-unquote smoothing process simply getting it wrong. For what it's worth, I have also heard some theories that this issue is actually the result of human error rather than an automation issue. Whatever happened, images like the one above really just highlight how much of the remastering process seemed to have been automated rather than handled with the level of care that these games very much deserve. GTA Trilogy remasters, GTA Trilogy Definitive Editions, quote-unquote improved draw distance strategy makes GTA San Andreas an uglier game. In theory, improving the GTA Trilogy's draw distance should be one of the most obvious improvements that you could make to the original games. After all, fans long wondered what those older GTA games would look like, especially GTA San Andreas, if they weren't filled with fog and other visual limitations that are representative of the era they are made in. Just look at the picture, just look at it. As it turns out, they look like this. It must be said that there's something weirdly insulting about the way the San Andreas improved draw distance essentially exposes the real size of the game's map. People have long said that GTA 4 and 5 just didn't feel as big as GTA San Andreas, and that sentiment based less on the actual size of the map and more on how the game was designed in such a way that made it feel more quote-unquote epic than its technically bigger successors. Mostly though, this is another one of those problems that show how little care went into these remasters. And the rain. What can I say about the rain? In the original versions of these games, rain was a very simple environmental effect that usually just added a little atmosphere to the experience. In the Definitive Edition, rain is the true final boss. It's the true final boss. My eyes hurt looking at this shit. People have theories about what's happening in the video above, but the long and the short of it is that there is no way this rain effect was intended, quote unquote. If it was intended, it really just brings us back to the idea that someone needs to answer for how the whole thing happened and what everyone involved intends to do about it. Modders fixed that shit in 3 days, you goddamn motherfuckers. Modders fixed that shit. What are you doing, devs, in a multi-billion-dollar company? I don't know. GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition's audio is simply terrible. While everyone guessed that GTA Definitive Edition wouldn't include all of the original licensed songs from the GTA games, most people assumed that the games would at least benefit from an audio upgrade that makes what music is in there as well as all other sounds better than ever. Well, you can probably guess where this is going against all odds. GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition's audio is simply terrible. Just look at it, just listen to the clip I'm playing right now. Just listen to it. And I'm gonna play that same shit from the older versions of the game.
After 5 years on the East Coast, time to go home.
Welcome to Los Santos Airport.
What's up?
Carl is sweet.
What's up, sweet? What you want?
His mama. She's dead, bro.
People assumed that the games would at least benefit from an audio upgrade that makes what music is in there as well as all other sounds better than ever.
Passenger, show us your hand. Stand. Get down on your knees. Now down on your stomach. There you go. I'll take that, Hernandez.
Hey, that's my paper, man. That's money.
This is drug money.
My money, man.
Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fill it out later.
Welcome home, Carl. Glad to be back.
You haven't forgotten about us, have you, boy?
Hell no, Officer Tenpenny. I was just wondering what took y'all so long. Get in the car. Ease up, man. Damn.
Watch your head.
Oh, not bad.
Get out of here, you greaseball bastard! Stupid Mexican. Oh, hey, sorry.
My bag. Hey, man, my bag.
Well, you can probably guess where this is going. Against all odds, there are numerous elements of the Definitive Edition's audio design that is strictly worse than the original versions of these games. Guns don't sound quite right. There are audio files that seem to be straight up missing. And generally speaking, the audio in this game seem to be strangely compressed in such a way that negatively impacts overall quality. As I mentioned before, we could be here all day listing every little problem with these remasters, such as it is. Though this is just another thing in a long line of inexplicable issues that will hopefully be addressed soon. Just fix that damn game, please. These games deserve better. And I'm personally running the campaign that I'm not gonna buy any Rockstar stuff from now on, and they don't deserve the position they are in. Just boycott them. #boycott Rockstar. They deserved better.